Saturday, the 30th of December 1995, will go down as a very sad and memorable date, not just in the minds of the Amakeze family of Umobi kindred, Awuda Nobi, Idemli local government area, Anambra State, but in the minds of the entire congregation of Holy Sabbath of Christ the King Mission worldwide, relations and associates. For that was the day news first filtered out that the servant of the Most High, His Grace Most Reverend Michael Nwobi Amakeze, has passed on to glory. It was a day of indescribable sadness, the day that the silver hood snapped, the golden lamp broke, and the valuable pitcher shattered at the spring. Yet, in all this heavy canopy of sadness, was the gleaming realization that, irreparable as this great loss might seem, it was actually and in truth a triumphant transition to greater glory, a divine calling home to roost for this humble and amiable servant of God. Indeed, Most Reverend M.N. Amakeze has for 35 fruitful years run a good race and has finally crowned it in divine glory.
One thing that is very, very clear in this special service this morning is that we actually observed that there were so many pilgrims in this year's Feast of Passover in the past night. But not every one of them is qualified, so to say, spiritually and physically, to participate in this special Holy Communion. And hence, we've seen just a handful of members. Well, Yahweh knows His people and He will gather them to Himself.
Born 53 years ago, the only child of a royal middle-class family, Michael Nwobi Amakeze was brought up and had both his primary and post-primary education in different Catholic schools in Kaduna, northern Nigeria. His brilliance and remarkable trait of leadership, shown very early in life, endeared him to all his teachers and mates in school, leading to his acquiring the popular name Musa, which means leader. It was this unique brilliancy that brought him to the attention of the then Catholic Bishop of Kaduna, late Archbishop McCarthy, his mentor and one of the greatest influence in his young life. In furtherance of the yearnings of young Amakeze, Bishop McCarthy encouraged him to become a priest. This, however, did not materialize, since this desire clashed with his family's wishes for him as an only child. After his secondary education, Reverend Amakeze took to business, and in association with his maternal uncle, late Michael Owachi, he became a successful businessman. His successes and material wealth in life, rather than dampening his enthusiasm, heightened his determination and zeal for the things of God. Reverend Amakeze continued his quest for educational laurels, obtaining a diploma in theology from the Ambassador College, Herts, England. He thus became fully armed for the beginning of a great commission. Divine call to the ministry started at Onitsha in 1960. In series of remarkable encounters, the mighty hand of God manifested upon him, and he was subsequently commissioned in a vision to extend the frontiers of the Lord's covenant to all corners of the globe. At the outbreak of the Nigerian Civil War, Reverend Amakeze moved to his hometown, Nobi, from where he ministered to most of the major towns within the Igbo enclave. By the end of the Civil War, the impact of his pastoral services was further spread to such far-flung places as Lagos, Kano, Kaduna, Maiduguri, Jos, Yola, Makurdi, Nsukka, Port Harcourt, etc. In fact, his ministry was spread to all the major cities and towns in the north, the west, the east, as well as the southern and riverine areas of Nigeria. Additionally, his mission and evangelical outreach had also gone beyond the borders of Nigeria to places like Benin Republic and Ghana on the West African coast, USA, England, Europe, as well as to Israel and the Holy Lands. Today, after 35 years of tireless effort in the ministry of this humble servant of God, there are more than 210 viable and functional missions spread in over 21 administrative districts all over the world. One of the high points of achievement of this noble servant of God was the construction of a high tabernacle located in Awuda, Nobi. This architectural edifice, the third in human history, was designed and constructed strictly according to Yahweh's specification as revealed to his servant Mobi. It is also on record that since the final destruction of the Temple of Jerusalem in 670 AD, no other Jerusalem temple exists to this day. However, according to the biblical revelation as revealed by the prophet Isaiah, that a temple shall be built in a Gentile nation wilderness where sacrifices and obligations shall be made and accepted by Yahweh. It is this prophecy that has been fulfilled in the high tabernacle of the holy Sabbath of Christ the King Mission, Nobi, and by no other person than the servant of the Most High, Reverend Amen Amakeze. Shepherd of the flock, Reverend Amakeze held periodic revivals and seminars with his ministers. In such occasions, His emphasis had always been on making Christ the bedrock of their life for the sustenance of their faith.
Now, one so people are good, they hear na banner. While I'm going to get annual no bara, everywhere okay. Now, listen. But then I take the news of the more. God, I want to each other. You know, that you didn't lose. It's a funny why it's doing why. You don't think it was, but then you take them back home. It's over guys who like to buy it. Then I walk around again at school. Then I run around again at school. You need a one again at school. You need a one again at school. Then I be the one again at school. Ni better money than one of us Advent at school. He got it. Don't know why I'm on it. Let go for so. Oh, yeah. You know.
Most Reverend M.N. Amakeze was a unique servant of God whose philosophy in life was essentially utilitarian. He believed strongly in the principle of sharing and that wealth is meaningless if not used as a necessary tool for service. He was in the forefront of the crusade against indiscipline, moral decadence, excessive quest for material wealth, violence, and insecurity. He was a strong proponent of Christian solidarity in Nigeria and was the pivot around which the moves for the unity of Sabbath churches in Nigeria revolved. A believer in the universal brotherhood and tolerance amongst diverse religious sects and denominations.
Yahweh is the architect of our coming together. You have to build the houses. And it is a house for all to dwell therein. We are talking about unity. We are talking about bringing our minds together, putting our resources together, putting our eyes together, thinking together, and working together. Yes.
The Lord says, do unto others what you would like others to do unto you. And that is the end of the law. You got a boss the people. The right sense of the right direction. If you are a teacher, teach your children the way you teach your own children. Love them the way you love their own children. If we are friends, let us be friends in reality. But then we have the question sometimes, why do you have all these problems here and there? The economic situation in the country is deteriorating. Yes. It is a start between you and I. We have to join hands together. Government has its bounds and limits. What they can do and what they can do. Let us come out, join hands together, not only in praying, but in our working. My conviction is Anambra State and Nigeria in general, the entire Nigeria, this is the country of God, where the children of God, our prayers can move the mountain.
In furtherance of the propagation of the Christian faith, Reverend Amakeze had in the course of his ministry attended many international and locally organized church conferences, seminars, courses, and workshops. He was, until his home call, the second national vice chairman of the Organization of African Instituted Churches, OAIC.